Israel is a famous country for archaeological history and discoveries in the entire world, and many of its vestiges can testify. Ashkelon is one of many archaeological places in Israel. It is now a city, but its history remains. Ashkelon becomes a park of protecting the heritage of the country. It is located in southern district of Israel near Mediterranean Sea, bordered with Gaza and not far from Tel Aviv, about 50 kilometers.
We call them today, took over Ashkelon. Later on, they even created their own state. Sometimes the scientists call it the Philistine Pentapolis. There were 5 Philistine cities that made a union. And in many places, you will see the maps that mention the Philistine state, okay? These 5 cities controlled the area. And the first one invaded and probably taken over was Ashkelon. So Ashkelon became the place where the Philistines could start their new civilization, okay? Now, who knows the other cities of the Philistines?
Ashkelon, Ashdod.
Ashkelon, Ashdod, Gaza.
And the other 2?
What?
The other 2?
The other 2? Francesco knew 3. Gat, very good. We will go to Gat today. And the 5th one you might not know. Ekron. Okay, that's the 5 cities of the Philistines. Okay, we will visit 2 of them today, and we passed through Ashdod, or next to Ashdod when we came here. So almost 3 of the 5. Okay, so the next.
Historically, during the period of 1200 up to 1000 BC, Ashkelon was one of the Philistines' 5 major cities: Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gaza, Ekron, and Gat. Ashkelon has been controlled by the Assyrians, Egyptians, Babylonians, and Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the city in 604, and all the Philistines were exiled to Babylonia. After many events, the Crusaders took the city in the year 1153, and their armies rebuilt the walls in 1192 around the whole city of Ashkelon. During the Phoenicians period, there was a cemetery for dogs. These dogs were very sacred animals. They were even participating in some of the healing rituals of the Phoenicians. Those who died of natural causes were buried in a special way, and some excavations of the cemetery are still kept near the sea until today. In the years 586 to 332 BCE, Ashkelon was ruled by Persians, and during this period, their commerce flourished so well. With the reign of the Greeks, Ashkelon was an independent and peaceful city until the time when Hasmoneans took over. There were friendly relations between the city of Ashkelon and Hasmonia Kingdom and Herodian Kingdom of Judea. With the Roman Empire, during the period of 37 BCE to 324 CE, with the reign of Herod, commerce was developed with production of different crops. Wine and other agricultural production were an important source of Ashkelon. Ashkelon is also linked to biblical history. During the last moment of Joshua's life, the land of Philistines was also divided. If we visit this park of Ashkelon today, some historical vestiges are still there, such as the ruins of the walls, the columns of Roman constructions, some marbles of Roman statues, and the Canaanite city gate. The Roman basilica was built by Herod in the year 363. It was destroyed by the earthquake, and the ruins are still found. We can also find in the park the ruins of towers, the amphitheater built by Romans, columns in the Sea of the Crusaders malls, the ruins of small Byzantine church called Santa Maria Viridis are still there. Viridis means green because of the beautiful color of the local area of agriculture. Different types of historical trees are still standing. Ashkelon is a very good park for archaeological excursions. Lakish is a Canaanite city captured by Joshua. This city is now an archaeological site and an Israel national park. Lakish is located in the Shephelah region of Israel between Mount Hebron and the Mediterranean coast. In biblical names, the meaning of the name Lakish is who walks or exists of himself. Lakish was one of the most important cities of the biblical era in the Holy Land. This city played a major role in the story of the Israelite conquest of Canaan, as related in Joshua chapter 10. Joshua and the Israelites fought against Japhia, king of Lakish, destroyed the city and killed its inhabitants. According to the Hebrew Bible, the Israelites captured and destroyed Lakish for joining the league against the Gibeonites. The territory was later assigned to the tribe of Judah and became part of the kingdom of Israel. Of the cities in the ancient kingdom of Judah, Lakish was second in importance, only to Jerusalem. The other thing to consider about Lakish are the letters. It is first mentioned in the Armana letters as Lakish, Lakisa.
As much Lord sent to me concerning the matters of Beit Harapith. There is no one there. As for Semachiah took him and sent him up to the city. And may my Lord be appraised that we are watching for the fire signals of Lakish, according to all the signs which my Lord has given, because we cannot see Egah.
Okay, this might seem a little bit like, what is it about? Okay, first of all, these letters were sent from Lakish to Jerusalem. Now, it's not anymore Sennacherib the Assyrian. Look here, the famous triangle head. Destruction of Jerusalem by the king Nebuchadnezzar of the Babylonians. Remember the Neo-Babylonian Empire? First year, don't be confused, we will talk about it. So, this is now Lakish before another invasion. King Sennacherib didn't conquer Jerusalem, he conquered what? Samaria, the kingdom of Israel. But now is the bigger power coming, King Nebuchadnezzar. And this will be the so-called famous Babylonian exile. People in Lakish, they know the enemy is coming. They send letters to Jerusalem, and in one of these letters they say, we can't even see the fires of Egah. Egah hill, not far away from here. Egah was
Lakish is mentioned in several books in the Hebrew Bible. The book of Joshua refers to Lakish in chapter 10, describing the Israelite conquest of Canaan, Japhia. The king of Lakish is listed as one of the 5 Amorite kings that allied to repel the invasion. After a surprise attack from the Israelites, the kings took refuge in a cave where they were captured and put to death. Joshua and the Israelites then took the city of Lakish after a 2-day siege, exterminating the populace. In chapter 12, verse 11, the king of Lakish is mentioned as one of the 31 kings conquered by Joshua. The city is assigned to the tribe of Judah in chapter 15, verse 39. As part of the western foothills, according to the prophet Jeremiah, Lakish and Egah were the last 2 Judean cities to fall before the conquest of Jerusalem. This pottery inscription can be seen at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. Gat is found in Israel. Scholars, however, continue to debate whether David and Goliath were real people who met in battle around that time. Gat, often referred to as Gath, was one of the 5 Philistine city-states established in northeastern Philistia. Gat is often mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, and its existence is confirmed by Egyptian inscriptions. It is mentioned in the Amarna letters in Jintu, ruled by the 2 Shuwardata. The site most favored as the location of Gat is the archaeological mound. It is one of the last refuges of the Anakim in front of the conquering Israelites under Joshua. Gat is also said to have hosted the Ark of the Covenant for a brief time after the Philistines captured it from the Israelites. And it is where David sought refuge twice from King Saul, eventually becoming a mercenary for the city's ruler, Achish. Recent excavations at the site have produced dramatic evidence of a siege and subsequent destruction of the site in the late 9th century BCE, which can be related to the biblical verse that mentions its capture by Hazael of Aram Damascus. Gat was either subdued during the days of Prophet Samuel or by King David. Although 1 Kings chapter 2 verses 39 to 40 states that in the time of King Solomon, it was still ruled by a Philistine king named Achish. King Achish is mentioned as the ruler of Gat for the times of Saul, David and Solomon, making it uncertain whether this refers to two or more kings of the same name. Gat was also the home city of Goliath and his brothers, as well as of Ittai and his 600 soldiers who aided David in his exile from Absalom. David, while running from Saul, escaped to Gat and served under its king Achish. During Solomon's reign, Shimei went to Gat to recover his escaped slave. In 2 Kings chapter 12 verse 18, the city of Gat is briefly mentioned as being captured by Hazael of Aram Damascus. The narrative in 1 Chronicles relates that Ezer and Eliad, sons of Ephraim, were killed by men who were natives of Gat because they came down to take their livestock. Gat is named as one of 15 cities fortified by King Rehoboam, son of King Solomon, which were captured by Shishak, king of Egypt.